And it is Thursday morning here in the Midwest. Chicago is basking in the victory that the Blackhawks had last night. So the
Oh,
hockey goers are out of control and very optimistic, expecting the Stanley Cup to come back to Chicago. So a little bit of trivia here for those who are watching this video. It is the season of victory for Chicago, hopefully, and for the rest of us, the season of victory, the taste of victory is actually right in the air. It's very tangible. Don't you think so, Barrett?
yeah, victory is all around us. Although I do have to admit, I'm not really a hockey fan, so I hadn't even known that they'd won until you just said it. I would say I don't know what the puck is going on. So,
Yes. Well, around this household, all of the kids are, absolutely rabid about hockey. So I baked a ham yesterday, and we had the house full of people, and we had ham and hockey, which is kind of an interesting combination.
yeah, hey, that works. That works. So, yeah, today our thought in the course is open-mindedness, and I think that fits around everything. It fits around ham. It fits around hockey. Um, it really is about like dropping all of our assumptions and coming to know that we really are held in the heart of God. It's not always easy to feel that, but what happens is we start to know it as we keep dropping our assumptions, as we keep questioning the values that we've held previously. All of a sudden, there's just sort of like a gentle flow, and we can align ourselves with that. We can say yes to spirit, which really means saying no to anything here in the world that would disturb our peace of mind. So even though I'm not a hockey fan, I am a football fan, and I know how much you get into the game, and you can like let your happiness or your emotions be dependent on the things outside of us. And I have done that definitely on more than one occasion with my favorite Green Bay football team. Um, but what we're learning here is that we can live a life where that peace is never really ruffled. That no matter what ups and downs happen on the screen, no matter how many goals or points our team scores or doesn't score, that our light doesn't dim. The love that we hold in our heart doesn't ever waver, and it might be a high bar, but I think it's achievable and it's something worth going for.
Oh, it absolutely is. And the thing I like about this particular passage, the second sentence in the first paragraph, it says, "Open-mindedness comes with lack of judgment." Wow, is that powerful? Judgment shuts the mind against God's teacher. Well, who is God's teacher? And it's everybody you encounter, because the presence of the divine, the Christ, is in everybody that you encounter, no matter how much of a rotten guy they may be by appearance. I mean, the dirty hockey player, the nasty football player, whoever it is that you want to hate. In reality, there is the Christ within that soul, within that physical projection. And there is a lesson that the Christ within that presence would like to impart to you. And, of course, the core of all of this is getting past our inclination to condemn those around us. The person that you hate the most is a person that in actuality is the most valuable to you right now. Because if you can do that simple evocation, if you can ask the Christ in that individual to come forth and give you a message, give you a blessing, then you will have transcended centuries of incarnations and wallowing around in this mud hole with the same experience over and over again of coming in learning all the ways of the world, and then suffering through that passage of death, and then doing it again. So we really have to be alert to the fact that all the opposing factors, all the opposing teams in this material world are in fact opportunities for us to resolve duality and conflict within ourselves. And if we can bring them together in our mind and bless them, then we have made a huge stride forward, not only for ourselves, but for all the individuals who have walked this kind of a dirty and solitary journey through the material realm.
Yeah, it's like muddy football, you know? I mean, they're always sloshing around, and see those old reels, you know, when they're playing in the rain. I've actually got a pretty good story about you know, hating on the opposing person in regards to sports. I was at a Green Bay Packers football game a few years ago, and at the time, their star quarterback, Brett Favre, of the, you know, decade before that, had left and joined an opposing team, and, you know, kind of burned his bridges on the way out of town. And this was his first time coming back to Lambeau Field where they played, but, you know, with the other jersey. And as he entered and was announced, I don't know if he was announced, but as he entered the you know, playing field, there were thousands upon thousands of people who were booing at the top of their lungs. I mean, it probably was around half of the stadium that was booing as hard as they could. And, you know, what a prime example of finding someone outside of us who is the problem, finding some other source of our upset, than knowing that that upset is always something that is within. And you know, I think sometimes sports are a really good example of this, because there is this us versus them mentality that almost always is involved in competitive sports of any kind. But really, you know, what we're trying to do is switch the script. You know, me versus you is always the ego. There's always some conflict, some problem. But on a deeper level, there really is no conflict. You know, that we're actually always on the same team. And even if we're doing different things here in the world, the team that we're on is what you would call team awakening. You know, we're wanting to awaken to that truth within us. And we all have that desire. I heard the Dalai Lama put it really nicely one time, where he said, you know, no matter what your belief system, you know, everyone in the world wants happiness. And it's very simple. You know, we all do want happiness. And I think the Course would say, you know, in a deeper way, we want oneness, we want peace, we want joy, that these characteristics all kind of are the same ultimately. And when we look at it that way, then, well, of course, we all want the same thing. And then, of course, whoever's doing something a little different is really not you know, someone that we need to hate or someone that we need to push away, but there's someone that we can hear their strange behaviors more as a call for love, more as asking for help and compassion. And you know, I'm not saying this is easy. I've definitely struggled a lot with this, but it is something that's worth doing, because ultimately the other teaching in the Course that we have is that we are all one. And when we really get that, what that means is that there is no one else. You know, it really looks like there's people out there and they're doing different things, but there's only you. When we start to see that, then we want to get really careful about what it is we're thinking about other people. Because anything that we're thinking about someone else is actually something that we're thinking about us, or we're thinking about ourselves, because there's no one else out there. Now, this might be a hard pill to swallow, but when we really can accept this and start to practice it and live it in our days, then every angry thought becomes an opportunity for us to release it. Every judgmental belief becomes an opportunity for us to question whether we really want to hold it. And as you were saying, Chris, you know, do we want to step into open-mindedness instead. And when we put it that way, the answer becomes kind of obvious.
That's very true. And one of the things that is always a part of every aspect of the journey that we're involved in is that recognition that we've got one foot in this material realm, but we've got the other foot firmly anchored in a region that is so abstract that it is completely indefinable and uncomprehendable to a large degree from looking at it from this perspective. So, in that abstract reality, where we do recognize the oneness of all, not only is it us, the individuals who are unified as the Christ or as the projection of God, but there is also that essence of God itself that we are dealing with. So when you are attacking this person or that person or another person, and the Course mentions this on more than one occasion, that actually is an attack on God, because God is so unified with its creation that you can't separate the two. So that creates a whole different playing field, as we're kind of alluding to sports once again. But it is fascinating how we are being drawn back to a reality that is so incomprehensible in this world that all we can do is go with that desire to experience peace and love and eternality, getting beyond the idea of time, getting beyond the idea of when I'm 20, I'm looking pretty hot. When I'm 30, I'm looking, very debonair. When I'm 40, well, I got a few crow's feet around the eyes. And when I'm 50, I'm starting to lose my hair. And oh my God, we're hitting 60, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. So if we're...
I've always been an advanced student, so I guess I'm ahead of schedule on the hair front.
Yes, but nonetheless, the outcome is the same. It all turns to dust. It's like that band Kansas gave us that great song, Dust in the Wind. That's what this whole experience really is reduced to. So why not step above that decrepitness and that deterioration? And when you step out of your body, when you step out of your death grip that you have on the flesh, you will find that the flesh will take care of itself. And as your true radiant being starts to come through, it becomes more and more apparent to you that people are seeing the presence of the divine within you. And they're no longer looking at this process of degeneration and decay. So it's very multifaceted. There are a multitude of different levels that we are aspiring to here. But the one singular outcome is the transcendence of death itself. And when we realize what an absurd and stupid idea death is, then we're no longer prostrate on our hands and knees in servitude to it.
Yeah, and I think it's true. We want to be really conscious about what it is that we're choosing. Jesus says in the text, is the choice between miracles and murder hard to make? Well, when you put it that way, no. I'll take the miracle, but the problem is we don't see which one is which. We think that our salvation lies in the things of this world that always in some way connect back to that idea of death. Without death, this world wouldn't be itself. It's so woven into everything that is here. There's nothing here that can live without something else dying. Even when we're taking breaths, we're killing millions of bacteria with every in-breath, and it's like this is the nature of this world. There's only beginnings and endings here. But as you were saying, luckily, that's not the truth of us. The truth of who we are really is this eternal always. And I think it's important that we keep our eye on the ball, to use another sports analogy, that we keep aiming for that endless love, because it's so easy to kind of get distracted and to kind of wander off into the weeds. But whenever we do, we shouldn't be hard on ourselves. We can just go, there I went again. But I really want the love. I really want the joy. And I'm rededicating myself to that. And I think it's really that simple, is to keep rededicating ourselves to wanting only love. But as they say, maybe simple but not easy. So
Very, very true. And the Course really is a process of peeling the onion. I think it's probably a better format for removing all these various veils that we have, created the illusion with. When we veil reality, when we veil truth, we come up with all these distortions. And the more I'm working with the Course and the more I'm committed to the lessons, the more I'm discovering that it's all around us. The truth is all around us. And a lot of the ancient sacred script comes into life with new meaning and new purpose. And so for those of you who do like, biblical scripture, after you've worked with the Course for a while, go back in and go back to the 23rd Psalm and reread that, and it will have a new vitality for you. Especially that one simple statement, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Because the Course gives you the reason why you can walk through those illusions, those veils, those shadows of the valley of death, and not cave in when evil confronts you, when it appears on your doorstep. So a lot of things about the Course will help you look back at all the things that were around you all the time, but you just simply didn't get it until you went through this process of transformation that is imparted to you as a result of being a student of A Course in Miracles.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite lines from the Bible since I started studying the Course, because there's this real sense of, we're never alone, even if we're going through the deepest, darkest parts of our journey. We're actually comforted and secure. And I think a lot of this open-mindedness is really about letting go of our belief in the appearances, because things can appear to be really bad here. But as we begin to know that our truth is eternal, that our truth is unending joy and happiness, we can see that it doesn't need to be taken away or removed from our awareness just because things are not going so great. So I guess to everyone out there who might be watching this or listening, just remember that you are always being held in the arms of God, that there's never an occasion, no matter how desperate or sad, where that love is not with you. Thy rod and thy staff shall comfort me. I really believe that.
Well, it's absolutely a fact. If you just still the mind, you can actually feel that presence. As long as the mind is agitated, that is another veil, that is another barrier. So this coming week, we have the potential for the Blackhawks to take it all, I guess. And we have the potential for us to take that next step and remember the beauty and the joy and the abundance of our connectivity to the divine.
Yeah, let's go for the gold.
Absolutely, yes. So, Barrett, I will see you in 1 week, and we have all kinds of interesting things. You have an event going on this weekend. I'm not sure if I'm going to be there or not, but
Okay.
you might want to let people know about that too.
Yeah, it's coming up this Saturday, 1 to 5, in Brookfield at the Focus Community Sanctuary. It's going to be centered around A Course in Miracles. I'll be leading along with Maureen Muldoon and Diamond Haraz. We'll also be doing a crystal singing bowl meditation to cap off the event. So I think it's going to be really great. And yeah, if you want more information, you can always visit my website, which is just my name, barretthedeen.com, and click on events and more. So that has all the links to register and everything.
And a dynamic week it is here as we're edging closer and closer to the equinox, the equal day, equal night, and the advent of summer. So I will see you in 1 week.
Sounds good, Chris. I look forward to it.
Take care. Bye.
All right.